Hello everyone, I'm Shelly Fernandez.
And I'm Rob Fernandez.
Welcome to our home. We're here today to just talk a little bit about our journey as new homeowners of our custom built home with Aria Build, a journey that started about 2 years ago. I think at the beginning, we actually interviewed like 4 different builders. So it's a competitive market. And we actually had a really important list of criteria. So of course we asked friends, people that were building, and we had a broad array of people that have built in different neighborhoods. And what was interesting, I think, that kind of set Leaside and Aria Build aside and above the rest, in my opinion, was the degree of integrity, proactiveness, and it's just a family-run business. So immediately we kind of understood that they were in it for the long haul, and their values kind of met with our values. I think that's an important element for anybody that's looking to build a house, because you can find any builder that on paper looks good, but I think you kind of have to go deeper because that will then show the commitment that they have. So I think that kind of actually was one of the key intangibles that really set Leaside and Aria apart.
The most important thing I think we found along this process is trust and integrity, and being able to know that you can trust who is basically taking your biggest investment in your life.
The other thing I'd like to say is in Leaside, there's a couple things which is unique to our area. The lots are very narrow, as any city build lots are, and we wanted to put in a pool. So in addition to the complexity of our build, which we'll talk through, we also needed to put a pool in first and work with the pool company, a landscape company, and then of course the build. Leaside took on all 3 things at the same time. Now that we're here and we're living here, it's really nice. People come in and they're like, wow, the main floor, your ceilings are like so high. And it's just because of the fact that there are no bulkheads on the main floor. We were able to manage them within the attic, and then also how we ran them around the perimeter of the basement. I think after that was ordering appliances.
So when we talk about appliances, one of the other things that Leaside did really well was he was able to pass his trade contacts, and he was able to get trade discounts at all the places that he went to.
It was interesting because we went in thinking, you know what, maybe we're going to be able to find someone. And we did our research, like we literally did our homework. And so we're like, maybe we're going to be able to find someone that is going to give us slightly better pricing than Leaside. And in fact, that was not true. We did not find anyone. At the end of this project, we can tell you unilaterally did not find a better price than what Leaside was able to give us. And I think that is just absolutely amazing to show the contacts, again, the level of pricing he's able to get and the integrity in how he passes that along to his customer.
When people walk around the house, they see the amount of different materials that we use. So, with MythCab, when they built all the cabinetry, they gave us the option to use multiple different materials. It wasn't like, okay, you just get this one material and that's all you use everywhere. The cabinetry in here is different from the cabinetry in the powder room, different from the bedrooms, from the kids' room. All of the places are different. So there's this very much a custom feel to it. I feel like every single inch of this house we built as we wanted to, and Leaside helped us kind of get to that point. There's a story for every single square inch of the home, and we can kind of speak to it because we were able to be involved and because we were able to kind of do it the way we wanted to.
I think that's also one of the key differentiators for Aria. It's like a family-run business. If you need something done, we need light fixtures put in, we need to get things done around the house because of the fact that they're all trade. It runs deep within the family. The aftercare has been amazing. We've had a list of items to work through with Leaside, and Leaside is not resting until they're all finished. We walk around the house, and one of the key things that I feel as a homeowner, investing all of our savings and into our dream home, is like there's nothing in the house that I would change. There's nothing in the house that we didn't accomplish with Leaside and Aria Build. It's literally our dream home, and it feels like a dream, and it's kind of hit every expectation for us.
We said from the beginning, very picky, very finicky, like we wanted to look a certain way. Leaside never made us feel as though this was some way we shouldn't be. It was like he would comment on it, man, you're picky. You guys are picky. But he would go with it, and he'd work with it, and he'd work with us to make it till we're happy. A lot of times people will come along and they'll just be like, you know what? They'll try and convince you of the way that you're supposed to like it. And he never did that. He never made us feel like, okay, you should just accept what it is and be happy with what you got. It was more like, okay, you're not happy, no problem. We'll fix it, we'll make it right. And he always did. No matter how big or small it was, he always came through and said, yeah, let's get it done.
So outstanding in terms of family-run business with high degree of trust and integrity, the proactivity in the service from the relationship at the beginning all the way to the end. And like I said, the aftercare of a true custom builder. But I believe that it's probably one of the biggest differentiation things for Aria. Their service model is like above anything that I've ever seen or heard about or spoken to my friends about. The builder usually disappears and it takes a long time to get the final touches done. Not the case with Aria, which I think sets them apart, because I could call Bazad and his dad and his brother, a great family unit, and they would be there in no time. They'd be like, I'm coming tomorrow, don't worry, we'll take care of it. Really made us feel very secure and also happy about the home. We packed everything into the house. So if you think about it, there's a sauna, there's a theater room, there's games and entertainment room, there's a DJ room, there's an office, there's a pool, there's a cabana. There is nothing that we did not pack into this house. The complexity, as you go through it, you kind of put it down on paper and you're like, okay, I can see that on paper, but bringing it to life is a completely different story.
You know, I sit down and sometimes I just stare at it. I cook in the kitchen and I'm like, okay, I got all my stuff that I want. Everything's where I need it. I then walk down to the basement and I look down. I got my little DJ room that I go and hang out in. I got a little chair there, a little place I get to go away. My friends came over. We have a bar downstairs. Like, there's so many places in the house where I feel completely happy. I make a coffee every morning. Just waiting for the summer where we can go outside and enjoy the pool. I think one of the most important things for me is what it's brought to the family is that I know that my kids have a place where they're going to bring their friends. It's hard to narrow it down to one single place, to be honest with you, but we'll go around and take a look. But there's a lot of wonderful spaces that we really like, and just what it's done for our family is just brought us together. It gives us a place now that we can kind of have our parents over, and we had this island built so that our dads can kind of sit down. It's difficult for them. Everything we do is based on what we want to do with our family and our friends and how we want to spend time in our home.
What I will say is my favorite place in the house. Again, I'm with Rob. It's hard to say. There's so many beautiful spaces. Moments. Maybe we should be like designers and call them moments. I love the kitchen. I spend time in here. I literally sit here and watch TV. So doesn't feel like a kitchen. So it's totally transformed what the kitchen means to me. So I sit here, I work, I watch TV, I go get a coffee, eat afternoon tea. I love this space because it's so open and I can see the kids. And then I think my other place is probably my bathroom. I love my bathroom. I like the steam shower. I call steam Sundays. So I steam my hair and have the best shower of my life. So I love that. We also have a gym and it's got like a beautiful high ceilings down there and I can go and do like a really good workout. So multiple spaces. The one thing I will say, what's probably like the wow factor is when friends come over, they walk through the house and then they come to the open concept in the back and they see the floor to ceiling windows and they're just blown away because of how it opens up. And then they also love the basement. They're like, oh my God, you guys have like this phenomenal second entire entertainment space down here. So it's great. So I think that would be the favorite places and how it's kind of improved our family. So I think for me, just reflecting on the journey of the last 2 years, you make a decision to buy a house. You buy a house, you move your family into a rental unit, and your house that you had, you rip it down and there's a hole in the ground. And then you decide that you're going to build it right back up, right? So as you think about the degree of stress that the build process has, especially when you want a custom home, and you are going through that while working, being there with your kids, taking care of your family, and you're doing the build as well, I would say that, and I do get emotional about this, is that as I look back upon it, it was a hard 2 years, but I would not have done it with any other builder other than Aria. We recommend them like 10 stars, 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever you want to call it, Michelin star. So I would say that I would recommend them over and over again. And the reasons, again, I'm going to go back to is the DNA of trust and integrity, not just from Bazad, but his entire family unit, and what Aria represents as a brand. Secondly, their service model from beginning to end is, in my opinion, bar none, because of the fact that they are there to work on the smallest things or the biggest things. Their aftercare process, especially as you move into the house, which can be the hardest time, they're there with you every step of the way to make sure that the home And the small touches are exactly the way you envisioned it in your dream home, in your custom home. And last but not least, Bazad works with top trades. His expertise on the build process and building a custom home is phenomenal. His trades are great, and he brings the best value, in my opinion, in a time where everybody needs to have someone that's watching out for their budget, what value means to them. He works with you within your budget and brings the best value that I think any other builder would bring. So I would recommend Bazad over and over again, and Aria. The advice I have for you, which is when you're working with the builder, you're thinking about the builder that you're going to choose, go to visit one of their projects and speak to one of their clients that they've worked with. We did that at the beginning of this process with Bazad and Aria. We went to meet a wonderful couple. Bazad did a house in Markham, and we were able to, walk through the house, talk to the couple and understand their experience. And one of the things that I thought that actually struck me, and I mentioned to Rob while we were there, is that it wasn't like Bazad was there looming over us. So we had basically just unfiltered conversation with those clients, and they really won us over in terms of, picking Bazad as our builder. So I think, again, that would be advice to do the same as you go through your process.
After 2 years, we would say absolutely would recommend Bazad. You can call me, you can come and visit me. I will have the same response for you on this video as I would if you speak to me on the phone. He is a guy who I would definitely recommend to anybody. If you're considering this process, have him on your side.